Coming up next on MCN, the McAllen Cable Network Corporation appointed by the City Commission is charged with making recommendations on how to use money that's been raised from the half-cent sales tax that was approved by McAllen voters on May the 3rd, 1997. The recommendation is made to the City Commission. They make the final decision. And now, the Development Corporation of McAllen.
Okay, we're going to convene the Development Corps, and the first item of business were the minutes. And by the way, we talked to staff because some of those were like June, almost a year later, and there were various reasons, some tape, some whatever, and the goal is, though, to get minutes in a more timely manner because it's hard to remember what happened. And then I had questions on D, the 3 or D. D. Because the budget on page 2, if you go to T, it said it was tentatively agreed, and some of them, like requests, for instance, South Texas College was 470, recommended 350, we did 260. I don't know what the tentative agreement meant, was whether we thought, we didn't know how sales tax collection was going to go, so let's see what sales tax, and we revisit it. It's 6 months now since the budget was adopted. But so if you guys can remember, I can't. And that's been in August.
Where are you reading this?
It's
Section D, page 2.
page 2.
D?
Yeah.
D as in dog.
Oh,
D as in dog.
D as in dog.
We had requested, recommended, and tentatively.
I assumed tentative was our final.
Well, I didn't know. That's why
I
I
thought it
couldn't
was
remember.
final at that time.
It was final at that time, but because tentatively means what?
Okay.
It means not final.
Subject to change.
¿Dónde dice eso?
Roy, was it because we were worried about sales tax? Because we were right in the middle of.
I'm trying to find it, Mayor.
Yeah.
Where are you? I don't see it.
Yeah, 'cause
I don't think y'all are right.
It's item 1D. 1D.
It's okay, we'll help you out,
Yeah,
Roy.
this. He's looking.
But where are the comments?
Because some we actually gave more money, like Boys and Girls
So you should
Club.
figure out, is
that's
that our
the only
actual
one.
budget?
Yeah.
Is that
Oh, yeah, and,
certified? So what does
MEDC.
it mean by tentatively agreed?
Yeah, what is tentatively? I remember,
I'll show it to you in a minute.
well, I know there's some discussion because sales tax was down, and whether we're gonna look, I can't remember something during the year we were gonna look at again, but I don't know if it was
And I-
this or not.
And I think we're gonna wait to see, we're gonna get reimbursement from the county.
Yeah,
for the
I
CARES Act.
think I would strike that word. That's what I would do to the minutes.
That was approved budget then?
Yeah.
Yes.
So nobody's gonna they're not gonna look at it anymore.
Well, we did have that discussion that we're gonna look at it after mid-year. And,
So
mid-year.
your recommendation is if we were looking at it, we wouldn't do anything?
I'm sorry?
So if we go to the budget, then we're not gonna reconsider any.
Well, no, I mean, I think that, the end of the mid-year is March 31, and we usually have a formal discussion at mid-year. It's usually about May.
Okay.
And there was discussion both at the city commission level and the development corp that we would revisit these numbers at some point.
Then I would recommend we at least keep this as a reference point because it shows what we didn't
That's
fund.
what you agreed on at the time.
The recommended, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll change that to agreed.
I would say to approve budget.
Okay, to approved. Requested, recommended, approved.
Yeah.
Yes.
With understanding that you are going to look at it at
Sure.
next meeting.
Well, yeah, the body will, the board will.
Okay, then any other changes to item 1A, B, C, D, E, F, G? And if you can remember that long.
No changes.
Okay, I'm entertaining a motion to approve those items.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. 2.
Sergio?
Thank you, Mayor. The item number 2 are the unaudited financials as of January 31st. Going down page 1 of 7 is your unaudited balance sheet. And you have total assets of $14.9 million, total liabilities of $1 million, resulting in a fund balance of 13.9. We can see most of the assets in the Development Corp consist of cash or cash equivalents. If we turn to the next page, there's a summary of revenues over expenditures. If you focus on column 4, the year-to-date actuals, it gives you an overview of total revenues and total expenditures. What you'll see is 6.6 million of revenues, and if we keep going down that year-to-date actuals column, you'll see you have 3.497 million of expenditures and 4.089 million of other financing sources, which is a net of transfers in and transfers out. And since it's a positive number, it's adding to your bottom line. We take revenues plus expenses plus other sources, results in revenues over expenditures of 7.197 million. You take that revenue over expenditures, add it to your beginning fund balance, resulting in the ending fund balance of 13.09. It's a healthy fund balance, but do keep in mind there's 16.7 million of pending expenditures that are budgeted. And the way I get to that number is you take from your amended budget on the expenditure column, it's your second column there of 20.2 million, less your year-to-date actuals of 3.5 million or 3.497. That gives you an unspent budget of 16.7. On the revenue side, sales tax compared to budget on a straight line basis exceeds the year-to-date budget by 28%, so 6.5. The 1.4 million year-to-date favorable variance is 28% more, greater than your 5.1 year-to-date budget.
I was going to ask you, is that, that's because of the difference in sales collection during the Christmas holidays, et cetera, so you're above budget because of that, or?
No, these only include January sales, or what, not really sales. We have February allocation in here. So February allocations, is a payment for January.
November, it's through
Yeah,
November.
through November, yeah, sorry.
Sorry, what page are you on? Can you tell me?
We're on item number 2,
Yeah.
page 2.
We're like a million over, 1.4 million over budget, and I thought, is that going to carry forward, or is that just seasonally adjusted because they're better months?
It'll get seasonally adjustment. Ideally, it'd go up for December's sales tax. Where you're at for 4 months on a straight line basis, so 4 months out of 12 months is 33%. And so you expect revenues to be at least at 33% on a straight line basis. That's not really accounting for that fluctuation.
Well, no, it is, so because if the budget year-to-date is 5,142,000 and your year-to-date actual is 6.5, you're up 1.4 for those 3 months. So what I'm asking is, we expect to continue to have a better than budget for the rest of the year, or no?
We're hoping it continues on a positive trend.
This wasn't an anomaly because of
No, these are based on current
Black
collections.
Friday or anything like that?
Right,
Okay.
right. So pages 3 through 7 on the, included in the statements will give you a detailed line item of budget to actual comparison. And I'm here to answer any questions, and staff recommends approval of the financials.
Any question?
I got a question on, as far as our cash and investment balance, seems like it's gone up a little bit in the last 12 to 18 months. Would that be a fair assessment?
We do have a lot of cash. The investment options based on what's out there are limited as far as returns, so we do have a lot sitting in tax pool.
I remember at one point, maybe it was a point in time, but we had depleted some of the cash balances, and it seems like now it's gone back up, which is positive, right, for the Development Corporation.
Right, and that's mostly related to where the budget hasn't fully been spent, where you see all those expenditure savings. So we have 16.5 of unspent funds, which is mostly cash, but once those start happening, you're going to see that depletion happen.
And you were talking overall budget. Now I've noticed our tax collection, ad valorem tax collection is robust, and so we'll spend that during the year for salaries, et cetera, general operating, so that does it. But we've paid down, we've spent most of the bond funds, right? So I noticed it's 285 million. I noticed that too. That's a lot of money.
All right, we do have one fund out there that still has a good amount of, at least, I think, 20-some million of bond funds. But the rest are not bond fund related.
And then a depreciation fund, we extended the useful life a year for like all automobiles and all that. So do you know how much that difference was in the depreciation fund?
I don't know that number. I know we do have some funds in there.
Yeah, and Roy, based on that, and the car's made another year, so we're gonna not buy double this year. We just made it through a year pretty good with the cars that we had, so that depreciation fund should look pretty healthy, I guess.
Yeah, it does. It does look healthy, and, that's happened probably in the last 3 to 5 years steadily. And so we are extending the life of some of the equipment and not replacing, even others. So, yeah, it should continue to look healthy. It's made a big, I say big, it's made some difference in the last couple of years.
Well, so the six, I guess it's the $20 million of expenditures. That also includes projects like the Daffodil, Taylor to Ware Road expansion, which,
Are you on page 7?
yes,
Mm-hmm.
which, will likely not take place this year, probably.
That's an excellent point. So, as Sergio said, we've got some $16 million of budgeted fund, capital. And the way we budget projects, especially projects, is we budget the entire amount. And what we talked about during budget last summer, because I remember you asked that, we said we'll probably begin the construction of Daffodil before September the 30th, but we will not complete it. So that will roll over, so your fund balance continues to stay healthy.
Okay.
And that happens every year with projects.
Kind of a science as far as managing the start and stop of projects so that you manage the cash of the corporation well, right? I mean, I would imagine.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions on the report? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to accept the report as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay, item 3.
3 is consideration approval of funding, including a budget amendment for Affordable Homes of South Texas. And Yvette's going to present that.
Good afternoon. The item before you is a request from Affordable Homes of South Texas for funding of their emergency repair grant program. As you may remember, OSTE has requested funds for the last few years. They distribute gift cards in the amount of $300 to households who have immediate housing needs such as roofing, black paper, or other construction materials. After the recent winter storm, they again began providing these $300 gift cards, but this time fundings could also be used to replace food that was lost during power outages. Their total request is $50,000. They intend to utilize $25,000 for the immediate needs that arose during the winter storm and encumber the additional $25,000 in anticipation of this year's hurricane season and potential rainstorm events. The board may choose to address their full request, just look at the winter storm request, or provide any other funding amount. Just for clarification, they did receive about 1,800 local requests for assistance. They did have the waiting list open for about 48 hours, and the largest number of applicants came from the city of Mission and then McAllen at 314.
Yvette, those gift cards are like to Lowe's or
Correct, yes.
places where they could buy? only
Correct, yes.
Oh, here it is, sorry.
They've done Lowe's and
How
Steve,
many
you going to make the
said
meeting or what?
It's 540,000, is that right?
Development Corporate?
1,800 requests for 500, how much they give, 300?
300.
They got 314 from McAllen.
It's 540,000, am I math right?
2,000 requests were remitted, but with the $25,000, they only gave away, I don't know, 84, right? Now,
And they do have other funding partners as well, so
Are
they
these
are
requests
requesting.
remitted, are there some that are prioritized over others, or do they do them first in, first out? I mean,
So
what's
they
the-
normally do first in, first out, but with completed
come
applications.
So there's a certain level of needs assessment, right?
They do review them, yes.
Okay.
And these are just for McAllen residents? You
Correct.
just
The
put
money
in
that we
for
would assign would be just for McAllen residents,
Now,
yes.
what you mentioned about Mission, I think I heard that there
Yeah.
was McAllen and Mission.
I'm
That-
sorry,
You mentioned something about Mission, like that McAllen and Mission?
just to let you know that Mission had the most applicants at 333, but McAllen was shortly thereafter at 314.
Oh, okay, sorry.
MAS, they're all over the valley.
And
McAllen for-
they did actually get requests from as far as Houston and Austin and
Oh,
San
they?
Antonio as well, but they're limited their assistance to the valley.
Attaboy, Bobby.
Here's Bobby.
Wow. You didn't advertise, but you got stuff from all over the state, huh, Bobby?
That's right. It's
Wow.
crazy.
Crazy, yeah. Okay, what do you guys want to do?
So
And
it's 25,000 what's being asked for, or? what,
25,000 for right now, and then 25,000, because we're heading for hurricane season, and like, a lot of people, when they need covering for their house, they don't have time to come and wait for us to amend a budget. You have to have it in the bank. And you'll give us accounting anyways after the hurricane season, and it carries over, right, from one year to the next? Okay. What's the pleasure, City
50.
Commission?
So 50 is a request.
Correct.
Development Corp.
So, wait, I thought it was 25, or 50 total for.
It's 50
It's
total
50.
with 25,000 for this winter storm event.
Yeah. So they won't give more for like food or anything till, when this is gone, it's gone, for this event.
Because the 25, if it's $300 gift card, that would be like 83 people that it would help
Yeah.
out.
Yes.
And Bobby, do you always give 300? It's just a gift cert, even depending on the damage to a house, or how's that work?
Yes, sir, we try to spread out as much as we can. So if we give them 500, then, somebody else is gonna say, well, why did he get 500 and I only got 300?
Okay, so 3 is the minimum, 3 is it, one way or the other?
Yes, that's right.
But we had, how much, 300 and some applicants?
314.
For
And we can only
314
afford, like,
times 300, that's,
eight.
that's 94,000.
94,000.
And Mayor, just for your information, we've assisted already 164 families in McAllen. So that's $49,000 that we've already spent.
Now, the damages, like
Oh.
how, now, because I know like some people, like the pipes burst, and the other ones, like there was like a roofing.
So if there is significant damage, then they can always get onto the waiting list in order, they can always submit an application to their rehab program. So if there's significant damage in order for us to assess. This tends to be something that's immediate. If they need like black paper for the roofing, they need to isolate a certain part of their home. Again, in this case, they're using it for lost food because of the power outage. So it's really just these $300 are truly emergency needs in the immediate.
Basic.
Bobby, and you're doing well with your corporate partners? I know you're trying to bring in money from the private sector.
Yes, we've been, received a lot of support from the banking community, as an example. But everybody's hitting them up right now, too. So we're doing the best we can.
Okay,
Great.
I motion for approval, Mayor.
the 50,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay, a motion for the 50,000 request, second?
I'll second motion.
Any further discussion? You know, they can always come back if
Yeah.
something happens.
That's
Thank
good
you.
that they have it there.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Bobby. Good job.
Mayor, on item number 4, Steve Elanius is on his way, so if you'd like, we can do the executive session items
Okay.
while he's on his
We're
way.
going to stay in here for executive
Yeah,
session.
yes, sir.
Okay, Ike, you want to recommend?
Yeah, Mayor, it's my opinion that items 5A and B fall under the executive session, chapter 561. Matters are also recommending
Okay, have a motion to go into executive session on the advice of city attorney?
I'll second.
So move.
I don't see IT
All those in favor
here.
say
Is
aye.
it IT?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Don't go too far, because we already kind of discussed this.
I've got 2 recommended motions for you coming out of the executive session.
Okay. We'll wait until we come back in. Hey, Steve Reno. Okay, we're back in session. It's 4:37. And you want to take those motions on the executive session items or no?
Mayor, I would recommend that you do. With respect to item 5A, I recommend you entertain a motion for a budget amendment in an amount up to $29,236.22 to support the economic development matter discussed in executive session.
Okay. A motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carried.
And Mayor, with respect to item 5B, I recommend you entertain a motion to adopt a budget amendment in an amount up to $345,402 to support the economic development matter discussed in executive session.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Thank you. Item 4, Roy, or?
Yes, sir. So we'll go back to item 4. We've got a request from the chamber. Come on up, Steve. That was discussed in a workshop a few weeks ago, and if we decide this is something we want to do, I recommend that the Development Corporation consider it.
All right, well, I apologize, I obviously got my wires crossed. So what we're asking for is $50,000 for the Innovation Grant Program. We've been doing this now close to 15 years. It's designed to foster startups in the city of McAllen. We've had a lot of success with this program. And as we went through the budget process last year, this is one of the items that got cut or eliminated in August with the idea that we could come back and request it. So returning to request it, it's designed so it's $10,000 up to $10,000 grants for possibly 5 businesses, but it typically you see it break down to maybe $5,000 to $7,500 per request, and it's designed for those businesses to be. It's amazing when you don't have a lot of money how efficient these folks are with the money that they get, and it's designed to help them get through what we call the valley of death, and that is when they burn through all their own cash and have hit up families and friends enough. This is finally used to kind of get them to the marketplace. And it can be used for a wide variety of things, anywhere from patent searches, filing for patents, market feasibility, prototype development, which is a big part of trying to get it to the marketplace, market feasibility, and then also what they need to market it beyond once they get it launched. And so it's a great program. One of the key requirements is those businesses have to, when they launch and when they get established, they have to have their presence in McAllen. Persons applying for the grant have to be from, you can have a team, but whoever the primary person is, they have to be a resident or have a business in McAllen already to apply. And so it's a great program and has had a lot of success, and probably one of our best known successes, Lamar Jones with the Jank barbecue sauce. He's kind of the poster child now for HEB and what it takes to get on their shelves. But we have a lot of other success stories that are related to things like that. So
We saw the hand grenade thing.
yeah, the grenade, man, those things are great. The grill grenades, yeah.
What are the limitations on, are nonprofits included in this, Steve?
This is really for startups. It doesn't, it's for folks who have an idea that they want to take to the marketplace. It's not really geared toward nonprofits. I can't imagine. It's not to say nonprofits can't have an innovative idea or product, but the idea behind it is really kind of to generate the way to create wealth and generate revenues for a business.
When would it get started? Let's say if
we're already advertising.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, pretty soon.
Yeah, so yeah, so our hope is that it gets approved, I guess, and so our plan is to be able to do this. This is March 1st, so we're hoping first part of May to do the first round. And we liken it to Shark Tank, but we call it Dolphin Tank, right? So it's not as harsh or as critical as Shark Tank is. But there's a 2-part process where they go through, they make application, the judges look at it. If they like the idea, then there's a presentation that they make to a panel of judges. And the panel of judges has changed every year. We don't keep the same judges. We like to have fresh folks looking at it so that they can have, because we've had folks that got turned down the first time. We say, hey, you need to work on your prototype and come back. And they've come back the second and third time and gotten funding the second or third time.
Oh, it's a great program.
Yeah.
really good.
Whatever happened to that angel program or whatever it is where you got investors to meet with?
That is a certified angel network. It's still in existence. The problem, not the problem, the challenge with that is you have to be a certified investor, which means that you have to have a net worth of over $250,000 that you can invest. And so they certify you as an angel investor. It's a network in Texas. It's part of the UTRGV system. And the idea was originally that you would hopefully get local, folks that needed angel investment. The challenge with that is they didn't have enough of the type of deals that they were looking for. So we ended up with a lot of folks coming from outside the region making pitches to the angel network because they're like anybody else. They're looking for money. And of course, an angel investor is one of the first places that they look beyond their traditional, startups.
Yeah, I remember going to a couple of meetings a couple of years ago. That's similar to this, but much larger.
This is really on a much smaller scale, designed to really help launch startups.
Because the guy that did the, was it like the Michelada tape mix?
Yeah,
Came out of this program.
He's one of the winners. Yes, ma'am.
Does he have it on anybody's shelf yet?
Not yet. His biggest challenge has been production. So he's done some different iterations of his idea. Originally it was in strips, and now he's thinking, I think he's moving to a long roll so that you have the flexibility depending on the glass size or the beer. You can roll.
They're very important.
Yeah.
Does he need tasters or people that?
Yeah, people love the tasting part of it.
That's interesting. And your innovation center, the old library, is that full now, or is that?
It is. We during the pandemic, we lost several studios, but we are now, I think we have one more studio that's still available. And the idea behind that, Mayor, is we have up on the third floor, we have Tech Place where we have gamers, programmers, tech folks, and then we have on the first floor, we have the artists. And the idea is that you have kind of that collision where you get the arts and the startups kind of talking to each other. We've had a couple of deals that have come out of that where they've had to use illustrators or storytellers or writers, and so that's been kind of cool to see that evolve. But that's based off Richard Florida's book, The Rise of the Creative Class, and how do you create that kind of that culture, that vibe, that cool vibe that you want to see in a community, and that's really how we launched the Creative Incubator back in 2005. And that continues to be a huge success. And it supports the arts, but it also goes to the creativity, which you want to see. Because, as I tell folks, you can have the ingredients, which, a lot of communities have, whether it's an innovation grant program, an incubator, an angel network, but it's the recipes, how you make all that come together that each individual community then kind of has its own thumbprint on what they do. And I just think this has been, over time, this has been a great program for McAllen. It kind of fosters the arts, fosters innovation. It gets used all the time. We typically have, with classes and studios, anywhere between 400 and 500 people in a month in the incubator using it for different things. Wayland Baptist University is there. They're up on the third floor. They hold classes at night classes there, and so it's been a good fit, and I think it's a good utilization of the building.
The town band doesn't use it for rehearsal hall anymore or anything like that?
I guess not, but there's space if they wanted to.
Wow, that's a good, if you ever have been over there, it's really neat, especially second floor.
It's been a while.
What goes on in there. It's been a while since anybody's done anything.
We try to make it a collaboration space, so it's an open design. And of course, during COVID-19, that doesn't work real well. So as soon as everyone gets the shot and we can get back to some normal.
It'd be nice if, once we get over COVID, you maybe had a workshop with city commission.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a great story to tell.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions, comments, or anything else?
Do you get any funding from anywhere else? Do you ever seek any funding from?
We have sought, this year, we sought EDA funding for the Innovation Grant Program. They, during the pandemic, they ran out of funding for what they had available, so then they've asked us to reapply. We've reapplied for it again. And basically what that requirement would be is if we were able to get it, we'd use this 50,000 that would generate then another 100,000. So we have to put, basically we have to put some money into the game in order to get it. So hopefully, we've continued to be in contact with EDA about the opportunities to get funding from them, but we'll have to wait and see.
It's good.
Okay, any other questions? And I guess the recommendation is 50,000 for item 4?
Yes, sir.
You have a motion?
But that's what it's been, right? 50,000?
This is our first time that we requested it. In the past, what we've been able to do is fund it through the chamber, but because of the budget cuts, we weren't able to
okay,
do
so-
it this year.
I'll make a motion to approve 50,000.
Second.
Motion second approve. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. So lawyers aren't qualified for this, right? There's nothing we can do to get innovative.
No innovation.
There's no innovation.
Hey, there's,
You know what I was
there's a
gonna ask
magic
you, right?
for art, okay?
Innovation killer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And bankers and their fees. Oh, then, not bankers.
There's no other action become from the board. We are adjourned.
Thank you, Trey.